Let's talk about how single women need males more than ever, and I'll base this on a study undertaken by a major social scientific organization. Being alone is increasingly becoming an unaffordable luxury for many people as living expenses rise. The benefits of being able to combine income and share expenses are just the beginning. Traditional married couples even earn more on average than singles. According to multiple studies conducted by renowned institutions in a variety of countries, it's worth noting that the factors of pay gap revealed by the researchers were causal, so it wasn't just that wealthy individuals were more likely to marry. Having a spouse offers people with significant advantages that allow them to earn more money during their careers on average. To make matters worse, the gap between married and unmarried people is growing. Furthermore, the cost of data is rising at an alarming rate, which means that those who are financially secure enough to participate in the dating game will benefit financially from long-term partnerships more than ever before. We must also remember that many people prefer to remain single, and even more concerningly, many people in partnerships would wish to end them if they could afford to. A group that began being tracked in 1979 has shown that married men earn on average 44 PE. The first is simple sample bias, in which a man who earns more is more likely to attract a spouse and be able to pay for a wedding, which can today cost over $20,000 without including the engagement ring or traditional honeymoon. The second justification is similar to the first, with the exception that it does not require males to be wealthy from the start. Rather, research appears to imply that men with more conservative attitudes are more likely to marry and work hard in their jobs, earning more money than their more liberal colleagues who don't care about traditional family values like marriage and never calling in sick. The third hypothesis is that married men simply improve as employees. According to this explanation, marriage pushes men to work more at work, chase promotions, and take on more difficult responsibilities. Males who married may do so because they have an innate desire to support their spouse and family, or they may be willing to work longer hours simply to be away from their wives and children. According to this theory, married men are more likely to be better employees, especially in highly lucrative and demeaning professions such as law, medicine, or finance, because they can rely on their spouse to handle household chores such as cooking, cleaning, and maintaining the home, which would otherwise divert a single person's attention away from their work. The last hypothesis is that married males' employers favored unmarried men. It's against the law to ask about someone's marital status during a job interview, and it's against the law to make a hiring decision based on such information. The Equal Opportunity Employment Commission might sanction them severely if they did. Nonetheless, a married man can still have advantages in his career. The perks begin when an employee's employer discovers whether they are married or not. Through paperwork or EV, marriage may be considered a natural goal that people who live traditional lives achieve, allowing married men to be perceived as more mature. But as exciting as it is, dating now costs 40% more than it did previously. According to a poll, married women earn 10% less than unmarried women. The gap does not exist because married women are more likely to quit their jobs and stay at home with their spouses. In fact, the study took this into account and discovered the 10% decrease in income based on comparable women who worked equivalent hours, implying that a combination of the same factors that contribute to married men's higher earnings can also be used to explain why married women earn less than unmarried women. Employers are more inclined to favor single women since they are less likely to quit their employment and start families. Although it shouldn't, we all know that it does. The point is that, despite the fact that married women make less money than single people on average, conventional married couples make significantly more money overall. According to a Time magazine article, dating now costs 40% more than it did 10 years ago, and financial stress is one of the main reasons for divorce. Having said that, it's still incredible to claim that getting married is a better investment than going to college, given how expensive school is and how the money may be better invested elsewhere. Nowadays, a lot of women act this way even if they don't need males, don't want to get married, and other such things. I recognize that look, but what does your financial market have to say about it? What is the message of your retirement? Many people don't realize it, and in reality, women have less say in retirement decisions than males. That is typically true, and it is also true in the minority community. In conclusion, there is a large gap between the reality and expectations of men, and especially women around the world when it comes to being in serious and committed relationships. While more men and women are in serious and committed relationships, global inflation is only going to make it harder for single women to survive and thrive. So it's true that single women now need men more than ever they need, most importantly, for being partners in generating wealth and raising the family income, because as we talked about the research, married partners earn more money and have a wider pool of resources they can share and utilize to live and thrive without a partner. Single women have it tough because in an increasingly expensive world where everything is going to get harder to purchase, single women can really live better if they're married and have another income to share the living costs. With single women need to realize this and consider finding male partners based on how stable and how traditional the guy is. Women cannot afford to make the same mistakes they've been making in the past I had fallen for, and chasing the stereotypical bad boys for the adrenaline rush and spontaneous intimacy. Those guys aren't going to help women in the long run. The nice, boring guys are the ones who earn well and have a stable lifestyle. They might be boring at first, but living with one is going to make women's lives a lot easier. And all these guys ask is appreciation, respect, and loyalty. And that's something modern women have failed to provide in the last 4 to 5 decades. What are your thoughts on this? Let me know in the comments.